Here we are at 7 Mile Bay, St. Peter's Church. You 7 or 8 people who've read A Time and a Place so
I'm
far.
sure it's 9 by now.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully, I hope those people who have managed to read the novel so far might recognize this location as where Wildebeer, once he's turned into a seagull, finally manages to discover his friend Humphrey in this very parking lot. And as you look at the parking lot, you will see there isn't a single seagull here, nor any baked pretzels or whatever it is that I had him pick up in the Seagull. But it's a fantastic location. I didn't mention it in the book, but if you look back there behind us, you can see the Confederation Bridge, which links Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick. Now, maybe one of the reasons I didn't include that in the novel is because we don't know exactly when in the novel the events were taking place. And this bridge has only been there since the 90s. Before then, it was a ferry boat which went back and forth. There was a number of them. The John Hamilton Gray. The most famous was the Abergwit. And I actually thought that they should have named the bridge Abergwit Bridge as opposed to Confederation Bridge. I mean, Confederation Bridge. Perhaps I shouldn't be saying that in this year of the 150th anniversary of Confederation. But I do believe that it was a missed opportunity. Because Confederation Bridge sure has some significance, but the name Abergwit was actually the original name for Prince Edward Island. The indigenous population, we called them the Micmac growing up. I believe they prefer to be called Mi'kmaq now. I'm probably pronouncing that improperly, and I apologize if I am. But their name for the island was Abergwit, which meant cradle of the waves. And I really think that would have been a much more appropriate name for the bridge. And it's not too late to change it, I don't think.
Well, certainly the ferry itself means a lot to people who grew up on PEI, which obviously I did not. But my wife did, Joe's sister. And when I went to Chicago, she sent me along to see the Abergwit, which is now moored in the bay there in Chicago. And has become the Columbia Yacht Club. But if you go inside it, it's full of the most wonderful wood and paneling and brass fittings. Fantastic old boat.
Oh, such a great boat. It was a lot of fun taking it when I was a kid. And, but I have to say I don't miss the boat because it's so much more convenient. So you can save a lot of time taking that bridge across.
You can. So Joe, tell me about what happens to Wildebeer when he becomes a seagull. What was in his head when he suddenly finds himself in the body of the seagull, and he actually has to let the seagull take over in order to fly, so he can share some of his consciousness with the seagull, which was not the same earlier on in the novel when he became a ticklee. You can explain that.
You actually did read the book, didn't you? Or at least that part of the book.
Oh, at least the first few pages. Yeah.
Very impressive. Or perhaps you read the Coles Notes version of the book.
Oh, yeah. Did you know they were out already? I think
No,
it's on the syllabus in England, actually.
But to answer your question, I think there's a progression there. At first, when he's inhabiting the minds of alien creatures, he doesn't know how, or perhaps he's inhibited by other forces, such as Jugurtha. Mm-hmm. By the time of the Seagull, Jugurtha is no longer in the picture in that part. Spoiler alert. But or maybe he's just getting better at what he's doing. And then, of course, as events progress and he does that sort of thing more often, maybe he gets a little better at what he's doing, or certain parties who may have something to do with the gate have relinquished their control. Who knows? You should ask somebody who more familiar with the book than I am.
Yeah, I mean, after all, you only wrote it.
Exactly.
But folks, if you haven't read this book, I really do thoroughly recommend it. It's a deep exploration into the psyche of the ordinary man and there's a bit of a hero in all of us.
Thank you for that plug. Yeah, I'll just get up my $10.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It's at least worth a Starbucks.
Start coming right up. Thanks, folks.